Welcome back to Buzz Recaps. Today, I will explain a drama romance film. Before starting the film, make sure to subscribe and like this video. The movie begins with a thief who had never been caught before going to an art museum for his next robbery. In the meantime, he was able to escape the cameras and security. And without any problem, he reached where all the expensive paintings were stored for which he had come to the museum. Later, a girl named Alan was appointed to investigate that robbery. She was an agent for Interpol. While investigating, she was surprised to learn that the thief stole only the painting with the lowest value in the museum, which was full of expensive items. This strange robbery and Alan's attempt to find the person behind the robbery are shown in the film. After the robbery, Alan's partner, Ozan, tells her they must find the story behind those paintings to catch the thief. And at that moment, Alan finds out that every stolen painting is talking about love and affection. The thief steals only paintings that are not famous and talk about love. Later, after doing her research through many paintings, Alan finds one painting that could attract the attention of the thief. Alan's chief believed that her plan was based on prediction. However, Alan knew that the same painting would be stolen because it was not famous, and it also mentioned love. Later, however, with Ozan, she went to see the painting. The alarm started ringing as soon as she entered the gallery, and Alan discovered the painting had been stolen. At that moment, for once, Alan saw the thief, and after following the thief for a while, she was surprised to know he was not the thief she sought. That man was her ex-boyfriend Guni, who was a famous businessman, and he had gone missing a few years ago. And suddenly, looking at him before her today, Alan was shocked to know he was alive. A few years ago, Guni left Alan without saying anything. Since then, she has started hating him. Later, after watching the CCTV footage, Alan's suspicion proved to be true, and she was convinced that Guni was the thief. Alan's chief found it strange because why would a millionaire steal paintings, and that to low-value paintings? That's why he thought that maybe Alan was saying all that because of her old anger towards her ex. Meanwhile, Ozan wanted to know about Alan's life story. Alan told him she had not become a police officer because of Guni. She has always kept her work and personal life separate, so her past has nothing to do with her case. Hearing that, Ozan decided to help her, and Alan began to plan to catch Guni red-handed. Guni did not know that Alan had become a police officer, so Alan went to see him. She planned to try to trap him in her love. Seeing Alan after years, Guni was also surprised, and Alan's plan started working. As soon as he met Aline, Guni told her he had tried to find Aline a lot. Today, Alan was not ready to listen to him. Meanwhile, Guni was told that Alan owns an art gallery in Paris. That's how Alan's fake identity was proven true. The following day, Guni went to meet Alan and tried to explain why he left her, but he didn't know it was all Alan's plan. After some time, she agreed to go to dinner with Guni, and then Guni told her that he had started to love her so much that he was scared and ran away from the world in fear of love. And when he returned and tried to find Alan, she had already gone to Paris. Guni wanted another chance, and Alan convinced him she was giving him a chance. In reality, she was pretending to give him a chance and only did it to expose his real face to the world. Soon, Ozan finds out about Guni's partners, one of whom is a hacker named Vera and another driver named Umar. He also found out that they had prepared for the next robbery. That night, Alan went to investigate Guni's warehouse. She found some blueprints in the warehouse, with the help of which she could learn about their plan. Vera came there at the same time. Vera and Alan started fighting, and Alan managed to escape from there. Later, Vera tells Guni and Omar that someone is after them, and that person is a woman, and says that that woman was a police officer. While Guni told her that it wasn't the police, it might be a random thief. Later, after learning about the next location for the robbery, Alan started spending time with Guni, and while talking, Guni told her that he was going to Prague for 2 days. And then Alan says that she wants to go with him, and Guni could not refuse even if he wanted to. Later that night, Guni thought Alan had slept. He went to sleep without a worry. However, when Alan got the opportunity, she searched for Guni's house. After searching for some time, she found a sketch, and surprisingly, the sketch was of Aileen's face, which Guni had made years ago. After learning that, Aline started worrying as she remembered her love from years ago. And at that moment, Goonie told her that he was taking her to Prague with him. Later, he gave her a new dress and took her to the airport, and she met Vera on the plane. Vera was shocked to see Alan but could not say anything to Omar and Goonie. Staying with Alan, Goonie starts to lose his focus on his work, and at the same time, Vera tells Omar that she feels strange when she sees Alan. She suspected Alan had come to the warehouse that night because she had seen Alan's eyes. Meanwhile, Omar was surprised to hear her and thought she was overthinking. Forgetting his work, Goonie went out to see the city's beauty with Alan, and the whole day, they kept roaming in the city. Late at night, when Alan returns to her room, she sees Ozan in her room. He doubts that Alan is losing focus, so he comes there to keep an eye on her. Ozan also told her that the chief had called her back to Istanbul. However, he had to calm him down so that Alan could finish her mission. Late at night, Goonie took Alan to a show she wanted to see many years ago. And because of all that, Alan again started falling in love with him. After the show, they started talking about their past to each other. That night, Goonie and Alan started their relationship again, while Alan stopped herself and went away from Goonie. The next morning, that day came when Goonie was about to steal, and Alan was waiting for that day. She followed Goonie with Ozan, and she saw Goonie hiding his face from CCTV. Suddenly, she realized that Goonie was trying to mislead them both. Soon, the alarm of that museum started ringing, where he was going to steal. Alan again could not catch Goonie, and he successfully escaped from there. Alan followed him, but Goonie went to the part of the city where cars could not go. This time, because of the defeat, Alan had to return to Istanbul with Ozan. While talking, Ozan explained to her that this was their last chance. Alan was not ready to stop. Later, Alan went to a party to meet Goonie, and at that party, she saw a strange rich man whose company Goonie was going to buy. That man named Faisal spends millions to buy art and keeps him in such a room that his face and voice are needed to open it. Faisal neither knew anything about art nor respected the artists. That's why Goonie decided to steal Faisal's paintings, and Alan understood that. Omar knew that stealing from a millionaire was impossible. However, Goonie was also not ready to stop, and Alan was waiting for that robbery. Goonie told Omar to put cameras in Faisal's security uniforms so that he could record Faisal's voice. Goonie started preparing to make a 3D hologram image of Faisal's face from a Japanese AI company. Goonie was sure that the thud robbery was easy. However, when Goonie was about to start stealing, Faisal was also coming there, not paying attention to Vera's words while he kept doing his job, and he succeeded in opening the door. Vera's fear increased because no one knew how Goonie would escape that room. The situation was getting worse because Faisal also came into the room. Meanwhile, before he could see Goonie, Faisal had to go, and Vera couldn't understand what happened. Security had caught Alan. Because she had entered that house, she started telling Faisal about the robbery that was going to happen. Alan also told her real identity, and Faisal started making fun of her because he was sure that no one could steal from his house. At the same time, the alarm rang, and Faisal discovered that one of his paintings had been stolen. Faisal kept asking who the thief was, however. Alan did not tell him anything about Goonie because she knew that Faisal would kill him. At the right time, Ozan arrived, and Alan was disappointed and had to leave. Ozan knew that Faisal was a dangerous man. That's why he told Alan to forget all that. Moreover, Alan forgot about the robbery. At the same time, Faisal remembered everything, and the following day, he entered Alan's house. What Alan was afraid of happened. Faisal also found out the truth about Goonie's identity. Before Faisal could reach Goonie, Alan tried to get him first. When she met him, Alan discovered that Goonie knew the truth about her being a police officer. Goonie told her that years ago, he had not left her. Actually, at that time, he had been caught during a robbery and was given a 6-month sentence. He wanted to tell her the truth before, however. He couldn't find her anywhere after coming from prison. Despite meeting her again, he could not tell the truth to a police officer. That's why he brought his identity in front of her, so she could come to him. Alan could not arrest Goonie without proof, while Faisal would catch him and he might kill him. At that moment, Alan decided to help Goonie. Later, Goonie succeeded in getting out of there with Alan and went to a house in the middle of the forest. All the paintings were present in that house, and Goonie had been stealing for years. He told her the reason for the theft while talking. Goonie said his grandfather was a painter, and no one respected his art. Years ago, Alan told Goonie that Mona Lisa's painting was only famous when the painting was stolen. Keeping that in mind and remembering the problems of his grandfather, Goonie started stealing those paintings that were expensive but not famous so that no other artist could end up like his grandfather. Suddenly, Faisal came with his people there, but Goonie was not ready to be scared. In that trouble, he just wanted to know whether Alan wished to live with him. The attempt to escape was unsuccessful, and they both fell into Faisal's hands. However, at the right time, Ozan arrived there with his people. Then, it was revealed that Goonie wanted to trap Faisal, and he had made this whole plan with Ozan. Giving evidence against Faisal to Ozan, he completed his promise. Goonie was free because his crime was not so big, and there was no evidence against him in the end. When Ozan leaves, Alan forgives Goonie, gives her relationship another chance, and fixes everything. With that, the movie ends here. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe. See you next time. Take care.